Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Man, seems like we were just here yesterday. I don't think Shelby McCall would believe that, but seemed like the guy sitting across from me, we're together all the time, but this is second Saturday, which means it's Ron Wong time. Good morning, Ron.
Hey, good morning, Larry. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Shelby.
You sound kind of gravelly. You sound
nice,
like gravelly over there, Ron.
Yeah, it's a nice day.
It's a wonderful
been a little
weekend.
Warm.
Yeah, a little warm, but the humidity was kind of down, so we've had some good weather. But you know, when Ron's here, what are we going to talk about today, Ron? What do you think we'll talk about?
We'll probably talk a little bit of fishing.
You think we'll talk some fishing?
A little bit of fishing,
I think we'll talk more than a little bit of fishing because Ron, as usual, has filled a couple of spots, and then I filled the other ones, and I guarantee you we'll be talking fishing with some of these guests this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Let me give you a rundown before me and Ron kind of touch base on some things. We will talk and wrap up the turkey season in Tennessee with Roger Shields. He is the TWRA Wild Turkey Program Coordinator. And I've got all the numbers are in on more than 29,000 turkeys killed this year, and we'll talk to Roger about that. And also, they've got a new program out that they need your help, listeners, you turkey hunters out there, to look out for turkeys from June 1 to August 31st. Talk to Roger. Then we're going to the veteran himself. We hope. We never know. All right, to get Steve McCadams on, he's always out in the hitherland. But this is a special weekend for free fishing today.
Yes, it
in
is.
a lot of places, and we've got a lot of fishing rodeos coming up, and Steve's got a real big one coming up next Saturday. So we'll talk free fishing, and Ron knows all about that with Steve McCadams.
Oh, yeah.
And then a young man that Ron got to meet and talk to and at the St. Jude Bass Classic, and I'm looking forward to talking to Miles Burghoff, is that right, Ron?
Burghoff, yeah.
Yes, and Miles will be on with us. What a story he's got! I'm just saying, don't miss that segment because you're going to really love it. We're going to give you the winners, the top 5 from the St. Jude Bass Classic. I finally got the results in, and then our man Les Smith from the Crappie Compound. And some lucky folks got to spend some time down there, right, Ron?
As a matter of fact, it's going on. Today is the last day.
Wow.
And I got to tell you, they had one heck of a fish fry last night. I really enjoyed that. And I won't be able to attend today. I've got a wedding I've got to go to this afternoon.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good, Ron.
Nick Vergus, one of his daughters, getting married. And
oh, really?
That's something I really want to do.
Yes, you do that. But always great to talk to Les down there in Como, Mississippi with the crappie.
And you know,
I'm going.
You're supposed to be
I know it.
Going and taking your lovely wife.
That's right. Miriam's fired up about that. We're going to go to that, but that's we'll be talking to him about the Sore Lip EM event that Grizzly Jig made some folks happy, right, Ron?
There's several companies together put that on. Grizzly Jigs. B&M poles.
Yes. All good friends.
Purpose-built optics.
Yes. Bill Waller and the gang there.
And
I'm waiting on my sunglasses,
Jeff Smith.
Ron. Jeff Smith with Crappie Magnet, Trout Magnet.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm going to get down there because I've heard nothing but things, and Les keeps saying that. And we've kind of been talking back and forth, texting back and forth, and he's tired of me putting it off. So he wants me down there.
That's right.
But and then we're going to close out the show. We hadn't heard from these folks in a while over at Gastons, and that's Jake Hansen. He's going to give us a report on what's going on at Gastons and the White River Resort because, boy, there's some storms blew through northwest Arkansas in late May. And, yes, there was some damage at Gastons, but those guys were up and at him again. So real quickly, I know I have a nephew in Rogers, and he lost a lot of trees. But that same storm swept through and killed some folks. But Gastons is back up, and we're going to start doing a monthly report from Gastons on the White River. We might just do a trout show someday from the Little Red and the White and all the rest of them. But we'll have Jake Hansen on at the end of the show. But I know, Ron, the weather, we've had a lot of rain. We've had some wind.
A lot of, it seems like
you
it's
haven't been
windy.
Fishing. Have you been fishing much?
Yeah, I went the other day.
Okay, I didn't see a picture.
And I could have showed some small ones that we caught. We caught a lot of 1.5 to 3 pound bass.
You and Wayne,
which was
your buddy?
a lot of fun. Yeah, with Wayne, and we had a good time before a thunderstorm ran us off the water.
Yeah.
But we've had wind now for last 6 weeks straight.
We've
every
had more wind
day.
now than March, I think.
And
Ron? I mean, we've had wind throughout April, throughout May.
Yeah. This is, and it's hot. It's
warm.
It's humid out there.
It is humid.
With all of this rain, it gets really humid out there. So one thing you want to remember is to hydrate.
Yes, you do. You sure don't want to get out there. And also, the water temperature. We're going to talk. This is the segment you guys have been waiting for. I know a lot of you may go get a cup of coffee after Ron gets through, but when we have Ron on the second and fourth Saturdays, we make sure this man has the knowledge, and he'll talk a little bit later with Miles about the St. Jude Bass Classic, and Ron was down there with some great pictures you can find on LarryRay.com, and Ron was the man on the spot taking the picture. We got Miles, we got Jimmy Washam, we got the winners up there and everything like that. I just saw Brad Amherst. I don't know. I guess it's got to be
his daughter, granddaughter.
Well, somebody from the Amher family.
That was his granddaughter.
All right.
It came in second place.
Yeah, won some money there. We'll talk all that, but they're all waiting, Ron. They want me to shut up and see what Ron Wong says about fishing. You heard him talking about the wind, so let's see what Ron says. Go, Ron.
Well, when you can get out and fish, which is every day, and normally early in the morning the wind's kind of down until it gets up around noonish. But anyway, Tennessee River's on fire. Whether it's Kentucky Lake, Pickwick,
all right.
A lot of fish have moved out on the ledges, and not the deep ledges yet. Where you're fishing 15 to 20 feet deep and falling off.
Yeah.
But your shallow ledges where you got anywhere from 8 to 15 feet of water over the humps.
Okay.
Carolina rigs
all right.
with a game hog, a green pumpkin colored game hog.
Okay. All right.
On those ledges are working good. Early in the morning, they are catching a lot of fish on topwater baits. Whether it's a whopper popper or a sexy dog. Early in the morning, they're working good also. The white bass are working real good.
White bass too, okay.
With 3-inch grub on a 1/4 ounce jig head's working real good.
All right.
The crappie are biting good too.
Okay.
They've moved out to 12 to 15 feet of water over brush piles, whether it's on Pickwick.
A little deeper then. Okay.
Yeah, whether it's on Pickwick or Kentucky Lake.
All right.
And using something like a Monkey Milk crappie magnet or a Bobby Garland swimmer.
All right.
Any of those baits will work real good. And
what about those I-55 places?
Those I-55 lakes.
What's going on there?
Really, you know what? You're not going to believe this, but the best lake right now is Grenada Lake.
Is Grenada? Okay.
Yeah. And
why is that?
It's the level has been more stable than it has been with Sardis, and your water temperatures now are in the low 80s. The green bushes that you can fish on Grenada Lake.
Yeah.
Throw in a Texas rig game hog or a baby brush hog and a June bug color or black blue flake will work real well.
All right.
Also a pure poison.
Oh yeah.
Or a thunder cricket, anything like that.
Yeah.
Slow rolling it. Preferably in a chartreuse and white, is working good.
What's the depth?
Sardis Lake is working good too. Anywhere from 5 to 6 feet in the bushes.
And Sardis.
Yeah, and Sardis Lake is pretty well the same, except they like some 10-inch worms. Especially in your darker colors because the water's still off-colored.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And the crappie are biting good.
Okay.
A lot of I understand there is, well, and I've seen a lot of 11.5-inch fish down at Sardis.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. That means that the population's good.
All right.
And you can still catch your keepers there.
All right.
The best way to do that is they're starting to eat crankbaits, pulling them.
Pulling them. Okay.
Pulling crankbaits.
And
you want to keep your line out about anywhere from 100 to 110 feet, which will make a Strike King Series 3XD crankbait get down to about 10 to 11 feet on 10-pound test line. And you want to go anywhere. You want to start out at 1.5 miles an hour, and if they're not biting, slow down a little bit. Give them a chance to eat it.
All right. You know, when Ron does this, it just comes off the top of his head. We got 2 minutes. I want to throw this in quickly again. We're going to mention it many times. This is a great day for you to head out to one of the TWRA lakes for free fishing. Take advantage.
I have to tell you, Herb Parsons Lake is really.
I've heard
they've been catching a lot of fish, whether they're bass, crappie, stripes, and good brim.
All right, out near Fisherville, go out Macon as far as you can go, just about.
And Glen Springs is on fire.
Glen Springs is another one. It's on fire, and I've heard some great reports from the beach lakes, the beach river lakes up in there. All these you go to tnwildlife.org, find you a place today, because this is free fishing day. You check with the Arkansas Game and Fish, the Mississippi Department of Wildlife and Fisheries too, because this is an event that we want to get more people involved in the great sport of fishing. There's no telling. I would imagine the man sitting across from me today has probably touched more fishing lives than anybody I know, other than some guy that didn't even dance. I mean, because
I have to tell you, Larry,
done it. Yeah.
One of the things I want to do in the life that I have left is to continue to grow the fishing industry.
Yes.
Because it is such a pure sport.
Well, you're the man, Ron. All right, let's take our first break. We're going to switch gears, and Ron can listen because he likes all these hunters to get in the woods and they can't fish. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray, talking turkey.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we roll into our 24th year on the air. And, of course, we're hooked at the hip with the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. We try to be the voice of the TWRA over here on AM 790, and all you folks in Brownsville on 1520 AM, 95.3 FM, and, of course, News Talk 101.5 in Jackson. And who better to talk turkey on today's Outdoors with Larry Ray, and the Wild Turkey Program Coordinator for the TWRA, and we're happy to welcome Roger Shields onto the show. Good morning, Roger.
Good morning. Glad to be here with you guys.
Let's talk turkey, Roger. I know I missed it this year. No turkey for me, but that's okay. I'm 81 and still out there. That's the main thing. But looking back on it, how would you classify the season, Roger? You've been doing this a long time. How would you put a wrap-up on it?
Oh, I'd say it was kind of like me trying to run a 400-yard dash. It came out fast and then it kind of slowed down toward the end.
It did. Yeah. I mean, we're pretty close to. You and I were talking about numbers, and we're not going to get into all of that, but close to 30,000. As far as turkeys harvested, and I know I'm looking at some of those big central. Middle Tennessee, Ron, I didn't want to throw you under the bus on this, but Ron Wong is listening in, is my co-host. But we're talking turkey with Roger Shields. But the numbers there, Roger, let's talk about, because you guys have instigated primarily what I wanted to get Roger on. And you can go to tnwildlife.org. You got all the information you want. You can get the public hunting numbers, statistics, which is amazing now. But, Roger, I wanted to really talk about the Wild Turkey Summer Observation Survey. Tell the listener what that is.
Yeah, that's just a survey that really staff has been doing since the 80s, if not even before that. And it's a survey that we just record all the observations we have of turkeys we encountered during the summer months, June through August. And that those observations, we use that to help us get some kind of an index of reproduction during the summer, how many poults are being produced. We also look at some information from that about, when they were hatching and how many gobblers are still being seen in the summer following that spring harvest season. And so we like I said, we've been doing that survey within the agency, just with staff and a few of our cooperating agencies for several decades now. But we're trying to get a little bit more fine-tuned to be able to get some of our estimates down to more of a regional level. We just rolled out some turkey management units. And
yes.
We'd like to be able to start trying to manage at that finer scale, but we just don't get enough observations just with our staff. I mean, there's not that many of us even,
that's right.
especially spread out across the state.
Yeah.
And so last, I guess it was 2 years ago, we invited the public to start sending in their observations too and reporting them to us. And that's really what we're just trying to get people to be aware of and help us out.
It looks like, looking from the figures from the 2023 summer survey, and as Roger said, this is from June the 1st through August the 31st. You had over 2,600 observations, data from all but 2 of the state's 95 counties. And I would assume, man, what you used to do in the old days, there's no way you could have done this without some helpers. And it's
certainly, definitely.
It's got to be a win-win situation for you guys, right, Roger? I mean,
yeah. We just like you said, we were not. I mean, we doubled the number of observations we got last year by including the public's input. And when we do that, not only we're getting more of those counties where we're actually getting observations, but we're also, because we get more observations, our confidence interval or our confidence in the numbers that we're getting gets stronger. So it's definitely a win for us.
And
the public enjoys it, enjoy helping out.
And I'm sure you farmers out there that listen to Outdoors with Larry Ray or whatever, here's your chance. You can be on a tractor. You can be wherever you might be and be able to be an observer. It's almost like the great bird count. When bird watchers are out looking for birds, well, here we got a chance to look at one of our biggest birds, which Ben Franklin thought it should have been the national bird, is the wild turkey. And it's a majestic thing to do, and we're able to keep up with poult counts too, Roger. And I noticed last year 2.1 poults per hen, which was below the 5-year average of 2.5. Where would you like to see that number?
Where I'd like to see it, man. If I had my dream come true, it'd be like 3, 4.
There you go. Yes.
Up there.
Yeah.
But realistically, now I'm, everybody talks about this kind of number that you want to shoot for, and that number may differ a little bit on how you calculate your estimate. And I have started using a little bit different estimates. So
what's that?
That 2.5, somewhere around 2.5, is kind of more the kind of the number I'm shooting for.
Okay.
I'd like to see 2.5 or a little better than that to feel like we've had an average year.
And you've been doing this a while, Roger. How long have you been the turkey program coordinator?
Here in Tennessee for 5 years.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's about that's about when we came up with these ideas for help, because your staff is not like that. And of course, we got to talk about predators too, Roger. That's the number one thing that we have to deal with when it comes to poult counting, whatever it might be. So what is the turkey's? What's the number one predator for a turkey?
Well, I guess that depends on what stage of the turkey's life you're talking about. But for a poult, for the eggs sitting in the nest.
All right, for an egg.
I was going to say for the eggs, it's usually raccoons get a big hit for that. But there's so many things. I was just talking to somebody earlier and mentioning that crows, depending on the area, crows even take a lot of eggs. And
really?
You got snakes, you've got possums, you got raccoons, you've got coyotes and fox. It kind of varies.
It's a tough life to get these little critters to be where they need to be, and then once they become able to get around, then you got coyotes and all sorts of things in, I'm assuming. Bobcats, whatever it might be. It's really hard. A turkey's life is in jeopardy from the moment it's born, right? I mean,
pretty much it is, especially that 2-week period of a poult's life.
Yes. Between
when they hatch and when they can begin to kind of fly.
Yeah.
That's probably the roughest time on those little guys because you got, like you were saying, the predators that just about everything in the woods is trying to munch on one of them. But then you've also got weather concerns, whether it's too cold or even too hot at times.
Yes, it is.
They don't have a real good way of thermoregulating, and so they can get stressed from that. Then if they're not good habitat where they can find the bugs that they need to eat, then that just further stresses them out. So that 2-week period, 2 to 3 week period, is crucial for turkey production.
And again, we're talking to Roger Shields on Outdoors with Larry Ray. He is the TWRA Wild Turkey Program Coordinator. And I know, Roger, we're looking at the same season for next year. Is that right, date-wise and bag limits and everything?
Pretty similar, yeah. The commission did adjust the start date slightly.
Slightly, yeah.
It's going to be the second Saturday of April will be the general start.
Okay, and we're still going to go to the end of May pretty soon, like we did this year. May 26th was the final date. I think April 13th is when we started, and the season itself. Those big numbers from Middle Tennessee, folks. I always like to tell people, I was around. When they were, I don't remember some of them, but I've written stories about them over the years about Shelby Forest and trapping turkeys and Cinnamon, Middle Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Then I look up and I see all these numbers of birds killed in Middle Tennessee. It just kind of blows my mind that Maury County, 957, almost 1,000, Dixon 750, Greene 714. But then I look over at our counties and I never thought really that Weakley would ever be the first number one county in West Tennessee for turkeys. I don't know why. I guess when Governor Ned was McWhorter Dresden, I guess he wanted to bring turkeys there. So I look at Dresden now, and I look at where I hunt in Hardeman, almost 500. So what in your opinion, Roger? What's the shape of our turkey population?
I think it's slowly starting to maybe rebuild and rebound.
Like yeah.
So, we've had a decade or so of kind of slow declines, or in some areas maybe not so slow. But I think we maybe have kind of gotten to where we're going the other direction again, building.
That's
so that's
right.
a good thing.
Great. Yeah. And I know you had almost every county last year in the observation. Before we let you go, I'd like those other 2 counties to show up, okay?
That would be good.
Let's make it a clean sweep.
Have about what's there?
Let's have a clean sweep of 95 counties next year, Roger, okay, this summer.
That'd be great. So if we can get public to help out, that would be great.
All right, tell our listeners out there where they can get into how do they get into the program to be an observer? Where do they have to go to? Well,
it's really easy. There's a couple ways. If you've got cell connection, you can download an app. I know it's just one more app, but Survey 123 is the name of the app. Survey 123, and then it's the Wild Turkey Observation Survey.
All right.
And you allows you to enter the stuff right on your phone. If you don't want that approach, you can go to our website and find your way to our Turkey Observation Survey page, and there's some information there about the survey, kind of the background, some opportunities to do like a little tutorial if you're not totally sure what you're looking at.
Cool stuff, man.
Males, females.
Yeah, cool.
And then the survey itself, where you enter the data into the form.
You can go to LarryRay.com. I've got all that on there from the the latest press release, or you can go to tngov/TWRA/Turkey OBS and join us, bro. Roger, thank you, man, for joining us on this Saturday morning. We'll stay in touch and keep up the good work, okay?
All right, thank you. Stay dry.
Thank you. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. We're going to kind of switch gears for Ron Wong here as we talk on this second Saturday. And, we talked about the wild turkeys with Roger Shields and the TWRA. We're going to talk a little fishing now. You kind of figured that out. We're going to talk a lot of fishing on the show when Ron is here. But we're going to hook up right now with our good friend Steve McCadams out of Paris, Tennessee. And, a lot's going on this free fishing day across the state and throughout the Mid-South. But also not just that, there are some fishing rodeos coming along, and one in particular that we've always featured on Outdoors with Larry Ray because it's almost as old as this show, but it's been away for a couple of years, but it's back on June the 15th, and that is Casting for a Cure Kids Fishing Rodeo, and our man Steve McCadams is on the line with us right now. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, guys. Good to be back with you.
Good to be back with you, Steve, and I know this thing is really important to you, and I'm assuming that you kind of missed it for a couple of years, and you're pumped up right now. And are we ready? We getting ready for next Saturday, right?
We're getting ready. We're just, we had it going smooth for 20 years, and we're just trying to get back and get going. We got to kind of oil some of the rusty spots, but we're gonna make it. Yeah, we're gonna do it here in McKenzie, my hometown, a little city park pond, and TWRA is stocking some catfish in there for me, and I think it'll be a good event. We always look forward to it. And as you know, from Mid-South Rodeo, you see a lot of kids showing up for it's their first fishing.
Yes.
First fish they ever caught. It's something, one of these events like this, so we're looking forward to it.
It's great to get the kids involved like that, and the families involved also.
That's right.
Because a lot of times it's a teaching event to the parents of the kids so that they can further their experience in the fishing world.
No doubt about it. No doubt about that. That's for sure.
And I'm sure that you'll have people there to help and assist, right, Steve? I mean, you'll have some.
I will. We've got several volunteers, and I think some of the Bethel University fishing teams coming over. A couple guys.
Okay.
And I've got several people that are volunteers that are always willing to help. So, absolutely. Some of them don't have a rod and reel at all. They're showing up for the first time ever. So we'll furnish a rod and reel for them. We ask them to bring their own, but if they don't, we'll find something to fish with. And, it's just when they turn them loose and those catfish are hungry, man, they start chasing them pretty quick. And, I always say little fish bring on big smiles, and that's what it does.
That's right. That's exactly right.
A great motto. And you've had over 6,000 youngsters in the years, Steve.
We have, man. We've run them through there over the years.
That's amazing. And some of these kids, I'm sure maybe have never caught a fish, and then you may be the instigation for a future Bethel Wildcat.
Well, you're right.
I mean, that's your alma mater, buddy, and I know that. And
and all the folks in Brownsville and Jackson, it's not far to McKenzie to take part in. Steve, what are the hours?
Yeah, give us the detail.
We'll let them register from 8 to 9, and then the rodeo will be from 9 until 11 a.m. So,
all right.
We'd be glad to have any of your listeners come see us. We've got a lot of door prizes and some hungry fish waiting on them, and it's a good environment. We've got a nice city park where it's easy to get to, and good parking. We've got a pavilion. If we have any weather, we can dodge the weather, but we've been blessed. We had 1 year that we had a thunderstorm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know in all those years, and this is close to your heart, Steve, and I can associate with that. You and I are cancer survivors. We're still undergoing all sorts of health issues, but the American Cancer Society, how important is that for you? I mean,
oh, he does. I felt like when I had my cancer, I thought if I can just get through this, and I'll try to help somebody else. That's kind of how it got going. And in a roundabout way, what better the way to, teach somebody to fish and fight cancer at the same time. So that's how it kind of got started, and it grew and grew. And I had it at Carroll Lake for many, many years, and the lake had some issues and got flooded and got drained and messed up. So we moved to a city park about 5 years ago, and it's just been we rebounded good, and thanks to TWA's help, we stopped those fish in there, and they're hungry. When we turn those kids loose, it looks like the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah,
lifted the gate up,
That's what I liked about rodeos, and we've mentioned that many times, and people will say, "What is a fishing rodeo?" I don't know. We've tried to explain that, you and I and Ron, for years. We're not riding the fish out there. That's just the way. That's just the way it started way back with Henry Reynolds and all those fish with a saddle on them. And
I know it. I know it. But our heart's in the right place, because I've had some. We do it for kids 15 and under, but I've got a lot of kids that have outgrown it. They still come back, and it's been a lot to them, because they tell you that when you see them in the store.
Sure,
Going down the street or something, they bring it up. So it's been a great win-win situation.
Or they'll say, "I got my first bike," in an event like that. And I know you've got some bicycles, some planks, and you got the categories. You got 5 and under. Now that's the one I like to watch. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised how some of the young ones get pushed up there, but they're into it, especially when you start giving away the door prizes.
Oh yeah, they love that. But and then a lot of them.
One on a pole, if you have to have somebody help get it in, that's okay.
Yeah, and a lot of them younger kids too, like those 3 and 4, 5-year-olds, to catch a fish and to see it and to watch their emotions is amazing.
Yeah.
See if they want to. See if they want to touch
the kids around you having a good time.
That's right.
It's kind of contagious atmosphere.
Oh, contagious. Again, we're talking to a good friend, Steve McCadams, and we're going to ask him a little bit here before we let him go about fishing up in his area. But I will say that you will have an assortment of bait. You'll be seeing catfishing. I've always marveled at the catfisherman that comes out there, and Ron knows this. Man, in the old days, we just put as many worms on a hook as we could, but now they got sophisticated and have all the bought catfish bait, but they still like hot dogs and stinking and stuff like that. So
that's true. That's right.
All right, we got that out of the way. They can go. Information, folks, that is at Carroll Lake next Saturday, and as he said, 8 to 9 registration, fishing 9 to 11. Age brackets 5 and under, 6, 8, 9 and 12, and 13 to 15. Tell us what's going on fishing-wise on Kentucky Lake, Steve.
Yeah, we're catching some bluegill pretty good. We've had mayfly hatches recently.
Whoa, okay.
Wow. Big time, and anytime you got a mayfly hatch, something's happening good. And bluegill have been hitting good. The bass fishing has held up pretty good. We had a lot of flooding this year. We've been up and down and back and forth.
Tell us about it.
And wind, and we finally settled down. We're back to normal now, and the bass fishermen are doing pretty good out on the ledges. But anytime you got mayflies and 10 minnows around the bank, you're always going to have some shallow fish up there, and that's what's happening too.
Now you guys are catching some big shell cracker there this year too, aren't you?
We have been. Our bluegill is still holding up. Shell cracker have backed off.
Yeah.
Because they bedded back in May and early June, and they've kind of gone south. But bluegill are still doing good, and our crappie, postponed crappie in the month of June is good here.
Okay.
It can be quite well.
Are you still
feet, kind of a mid-level?
Do you still need customers, Steve? Are you selective?
Always looking for new people. Always.
Tell them how to get in touch with you. Where do they go?
Yeah, you can get on my website. The best thing is email me at stevemcadams.com.
That's the easiest way, and we'll have all this posted. We run his fishing report, one of the best fishing reports, if not the best.
Absolutely.
That Steve puts out. I don't know how long it takes you to do all that, but you can go to LarryRay.com, click on Steve McCadams' fishing report. It's got all the information where you can get in touch with Steve. The man's been doing it for 5 or 6 years, I think. It's 5 or 6 decades. I can't remember. I get them. I get them.
So long, I can't remember, but I still enjoy it.
I know it. Steve McCadams, thank you, buddy. Always good talking to you.
Good to be with you again. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Steve. All right. Steve McCadams. All right. I know, Ron. I miss, those fishing rodeos were fun. They were work. I know that. I don't know how we ever did them with Henry Reynolds over 3 days with 1,500 kids at Audubon Park at Ray Deaton Lake, those days. But then we switched over. The TWRA did it, and we did it for another 10 years or so. But as old as I am, I'm not going to say you, but they were memory makers, Ron. I know that you were there. You saw those kids. We sent kids up to Reelfoot on trips.
Yeah.
The bicycles we gave away when they moved out to Johnson Lake in Germantown. And it was getting kids out a lot of times. There you go. Yeah.
That had never experienced
That's right.
a fishing outing.
Yeah.
And, sometimes for a lot of those kids, it was their first experience. And, of course, we couldn't do it without a lot of the volunteers that went out there to help.
Yeah.
We had some professional type fishermen that came out to help the kids and help them catch their first fish in a lot of instances. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, I know back in those days, and I will mention this, and I still think about her, Wynn Wright, the wife of the late Larry Wright, the coach. She was the first grand champion of the Mid-South Junior Fishing Rodeo. Wynn, I don't know if you listened or not, but Major, her son, and all those guys, it was an event. We appreciate it. All right, let's take a break, and we're going to come back and talk a little St. Jude Bass Classic of Outdoors, Larry Ray. Ron was there. I missed it this year. I'm going to give you the winners, some tips, and things along that. So let's take a break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Good Saturday morning to you good folks in Memphis here on AM 790, 92.9 HD FM every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30. And, of course, in Brownsville on 1520 AM, 95.3 FM. And Jackson, our good friends in Jackson on 101.5 FM News Talk. And we're talking fishing right now, and we had hoped to get Miles Burghoff.
Miles Burghoff, professional angler. Larry, let me say this.
Yeah, say it, Ron.
We were supposed to have him on this morning, and unfortunately, his little daughter, Riley, is in St. Jude Hospital, and she's not doing real well this morning. They're in the clinic, and so we said, hey, Miles, no problem. We will get you rescheduled at another time.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you something. You can go out to LarryRay.com and see those pictures from the St. Jude Bass Classic here. And there will be pictures of Miles, his wife, and his sweet little daughter, Riley, who is going through chemo for cancer.
Yeah, little beautiful little baby, and
she's sweet.
Our prayers go out to that family, and I know Miles shared the stage at the St. Jude Bass Classic with Jimmy Washerman. I understand did a great job, and we got some pictures that Ron took of Jimmy and Miles together, and then his family, because Jimmy had his baby up there, and it was just a great event, and we're going to talk a little bit about it right now. Let me give you the top 5 angling, the top 5 teams from the St. Jude Bass Classic. This was the 51st annual St. Jude Bass Classic held on May 26th at Sardis Lake. Thanks to our good friend Steve Cook. And Ron was there as the official photographer. And like he said, you can go to LarryRay.com and click on Ron's photos. But Blake Hodge and Charlie Edwards won with 12.66 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's a $5,000 win. And I'm going to brag a little bit on my partner here. doesn't really need to brag because he knows what he's doing. But he specifically said he'd take 12 pounds and be happy, and it ended up at 12.66. And boy, it was close. Travis Beam and Bailey Ammer, and Travis 12.50, and took home $2,500. Third place, Jackie Simmons and Brian Simmons, 12.4. So right there, the top three are settled for less than a pound, and they got $1,500. Fourth place went to Dustin Gordon and Chris Shumay at 10.73. And fifth place went to Justin Newcomb and Jimmy Newsom. That's Justin Newsom and Jimmy Newsom at 10.45. And I know Ron was down there and got to meet Miles, and Jimmy did a great job, raised a lot of money, and as you know, raised a lot of money for the Fishing for Kids with Gary Conklin, and we had David Best on the show. He's going to take that over for Gary. Our hats off to Gary for the job he did. And I know we had a little confusion about the director. Victor Lucas was and couldn't, and all of a sudden Steve Cook came back and handled it. But Ron.
And, that situation there really, Victor loves to fish.
Yeah, he wants to fish in that tournament.
And he wanted to fish in the tournament.
Yeah.
And, they've got a rule there. And they've always had that if you fish a tournament, you can't be a tournament director.
That's right.
And that's understandable.
Yeah.
And, fortunately, Steve and Lane Cook said, we'll take it back over and make it happen. So out there, they're looking for another tournament director for the 52nd
tournament next year on Memorial Weekend Sunday.
Be the same
Engineers
day.
Point right there. And Ron, you know that is a happening. You were there. I didn't get to come this year. A family matter came up. But if you've not ever been to that, and Ron can describe it better. Of course, we've been back to the old days when Ron's a two-time winner when it was a solo. And then we've been there, Ron, when there was 300 boats blasting off at the same time.
Yep.
And it looked like something out of the Revolutionary War. Get out of the way, man.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But they got it in flights now, but it still runs off the click. And the main thing about this, it made Miles' appearance so important, and even Gary Conklin and the background all these people have. Well, you know what, Ron? St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. That's the whole reason.
That's the whole reason for it. And, Larry, I have to tell you, I was there as part of the audience, too, that Sunday afternoon there at Engineers Point.
Yeah.
And to listen to Miles and to see his baby and his wife on stage and talking about what St. Jude does, it was very, very touching. And unfortunately, our prayers this morning for Riley, and hopefully she gets well. She's having she had a process done this morning, and she's just not doing real well. Otherwise, Miles would be with us. But Miles, I'll tell you,
put him on your prayer list, folks.
Yeah. He talk about somebody that really cares about St. Jude.
Yeah.
Over the past years, Miles has fished in St. Jude tournaments.
Yes, he has.
Around the country. There was one up north that he just fished here a month ago.
Yeah.
That raised $850,000.
Really? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's the richest St. Jude bass tournament in the nation. I don't remember where it was up north.
That shows his heart.
That was up there on the Mississippi River, up out of La Crosse, I believe.
That shows his heart right there.
Yeah, and he was supposed to have fished one actually today in Dayton, Tennessee.
Dayton, Tennessee. He was
which is where he's from.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it because of his daughter. And
so he was going to be on us because he couldn't be in Dayton. He was going to be here.
And I talked to him about, you're fishing the BASS Opens now as trying to qualify for the elites.
Yeah.
And he says, They are so good. They're holding my spot.
And he's been fishing a while.
His sponsors are all behind him.
The man,
and he's a great fisherman. But I don't know if you remember, Larry.
What?
We had a fella on that won a tournament. His name was Joey Nania.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, him and Miles were doing a fishing show at one time called Sweetwater Fishing.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah.
Great show.
Yeah. Well, if you're wondering, that's Miles, Miles, Burghoff. Google that. This man knows sonar.
Yeah.
I mean, they call him Sonar.
That's his middle name,
That's
Sonar.
his middle name, a.k.a. Sonar.
Yeah.
And so when I looked that up, and the man knows sonar, I can tell you that when your website, your Facebook page is everything, give him a like because he's posting things about his daughter, and that's Ryle. So keep that family in your prayers.
And all of the professional anglers that know Miles, they've got a hand out to help him.
Yeah.
I'll give you a great example.
What's that?
Do you know where Miles' boat is right now if he wanted to go fishing?
Where is it? Yeah.
Over at Mark Rose's place.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Well, that's nearby in Wynn, Arkansas.
That's right.
There.
That's right. And I mean, that's how it's like a big family.
Yeah. Well, when I read about it and I Googled Miles and got all the information and saw Sonar, a.k.a. Sonar, and saw his boat, and he's done a lot of YouTubes too.
Yeah, lots.
Besides Sweetwater TV, which is pretty cool on that. But anyway, we'll get Miles back on. I got to ask you, Ron, still on the St. Jude because you were at the big shindig for Joe Theismann last Sunday.
Uh-huh.
You were at the tournament out there where Penny didn't want to talk basketball. Somebody should have gone over to Ron as he's making all them sliders. Ron would have talked basketball with you and football too,
right.
as long as it was about Ole Miss. But talk about those 2 days, Ron. That was pretty cool.
I was out at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, St. Jude golf tournament.
St. Jude, that's it again.
And and all of the proceeds benefits from that golf tournament.
Yeah.
All the proceeds benefits St. Jude Hospital, and the Distinguished Citizens Award was given to Joe Theismann this year.
Yes.
And I have to tell you, what a gentleman.
Yeah.
And he cares about the community. He started a nonprofit organization to help raise money for charities like St. Jude.
Did he really?
And the thing about this, what makes it different and special, is that he provides the operating expense so that 100% of every dollar raised goes to a nonprofit organization.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome.
And he calls home here, doesn't he, Ron?
Yes, he does. I don't remember. I think it's Eads, Tennessee.
Yeah, somewhere. He's here, and a great honor. So glad
a great
that they did
person,
that.
and it was fun to talk to him, and there were questions to him during his Q&A there at the dinner. About college NIL and all that kind of stuff. It was pretty interesting what he had to say about that.
Well, I was just impressed, and Ron was there. Ron's everywhere as he is all the time. All right, let's take our next break of the morning, and we're going to come back, and Ron's going to take this segment over because I'm just going to listen in as we talk about sore lip, and we're going to talk about the crappie compound, and we're going to talk to our good friend Les Smith. That's coming up next on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. We talk every Saturday morning, rolling to our 24th year on the air. Particularly you good folks right here in Memphis, every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30 on AM 790, 92.9 HD FM. And Ron, you got a next guest. Ron Wong, of course, this is second Saturday. Ron's with us in studio. A great segment. The last one, Ron, great job on that. And our prayers go out to Miles Burghoff and his family, and as his daughter, it's Riley, isn't it, Ron?
Riley.
She's at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and our prayers go out to Miles and his family. But this next guest has been on Outdoors with Larry Ray. He's not that far away.
And,
but he's got a big weekend. And won't you introduce this next guy, Ron?
Hey, our next guest is truly a generous individual who is one heck of a professional crappie fisherman, and he loves to share a good time at his place and on a boat, and this place is the Crappie Compound.
Yeah.
Hey, our next guest is Les Smith. Good morning, Les.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Larry. How are you?
Good Saturday morning, man, from the Crappie Compound. And if you folks don't know can you explain what the Crappie Compound is to those that may not know, Les?
Larry, to be honest with you, I'm not sure. It just got to be a really nice little hangout for a lot of buddies and friends and companies that we work with, and just great people in and out. We have a lot of fun here. We're actually doing the Grizzly Getaway.
Yes, that's what we want to talk about. Yeah, we want to talk about that. That's going on this weekend. And talk what does this weekend involve for these folks? What are they doing?
Well, this thing has gotten. This is our third year to do it, and you have to come to the Grizzly Jig Show to actually register and be able to sign up for it. Everybody, a lot of the pro guys come in early. That's people that are on the pro staffs with companies like B&M, Crappie Magnet.
Yes, yeah.
A lot of different companies, Cornfield Fishing Gear, Sea Arc Boats. They're all sponsors of this Grizzly Getaway.
Grizzly Getaway. Okay.
Yeah. And John Godwin is here. He is hosting it with Duck Dynasty.
Oh, okay.
And,
the entertainment's there then. Okay. I mean,
I know he got there yesterday because I was going south somewhere, and I saw his boat, and his boat I always recognize because it's the only Sea Arc boat that's black and white like it is. But anyway, Les, you guys do this giveaway, the Sore Lip'em crappie event. Our winners this year, today's Saturday. This is the last day, but it really started yesterday with a fish fry and everything else. And tell our listeners a little bit about what the winners are getting.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, the winners, we actually give away 4 opportunities to win, and those 4 individuals can bring a guest. So actually it's 8 people that we host.
All right.
We put together a team of some of our pro staff guys for the companies that take these individuals out. Now they draw out of a hat, and they pick one of the 4 guides. And I don't know if you really want to call it guides because it's not really guiding.
No.
They don't pay for anything. It's just a nice day on the water, hanging out with some of these professional guides or professional fishermen. And this year we've got myself as one of the fishermen. We've got Jason Cook. We've got John Mayo and Joe Floyd. Are the 4 fishermen this year that'll be hosting those individuals out on their boats. A lot of the other guys come in and they take out. We have all the company people here like Jack Wells with B&M and Mark Riddle with Cornfield Fishing and Jeff Smith with Crappie Magnet. We get we got people like Kirby Ham here. You guys know Kirby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You mentioned an all former guest here on this show.
Yeah. Kent Driscoll's there, John Harrison. Yeah. Both John Harrisons, I believe.
and I know you do some fishing, but as Ron always wants to know, what's on the menu? I mean, because you guys do get to eat too, don't you? I mean,
let me tell you, I think it's one of the things you asked. What is the crappie compound? I think it's kind of known for the eating.
Yes,
we have some really chow downs here that we put on, and Thursday night prime rib.
Thursday night. Okay, rib. Yeah.
Friday night, we had a fish fry.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday night, we have ribs and chicken.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's some good barbecue.
And then barbecue. It's a real rough job. Somebody's got to do it, Les. I know it. But
that's right.
And talk about the companies that go get together. What are those companies that are part of this giveaway by Grizzly Jigs? And of course, Wade Mansfield will be there representing Grizzly Jig. But what are some of the companies?
Yeah, you've got Crappie Magnet with that's Jeff.
That's Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got B&M Poles with Jack Wells.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Cornfield Fishing Gear with Mark Riddle.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Hook and Bullet sunglasses with Bill Waller.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
You got Drift Master rod holders with Dave Baynard.
Oh yeah.
There you go. There's Dave. All right. Yeah.
You got Sea Arc Boats, one of our new sponsors this year. And to be honest, these guys are fairly new. And I'm not sure exactly what it's three of them.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what their names are.
That's okay. These 8 people are getting to go down there, and this is the 3rd year for it. And folks, I'm assuming this is a highlight. If you haven't never been to the Grizzly Jig Show, Ron Wong, he camps out up there, and we always have a show from there. But this is a big event that you and Wade, and Louie and all those guys hooked up for this idea, and it's in its 3rd year, and it seems like it's a winner for all around, isn't it, Les?
Oh, absolutely, Larry. This thing just blew up on us. It's over 10,000 people that come through the Grizzly Jig Show up there.
Yeah.
That's a highlight in itself. If people want to come and get to meet all of us, and a lot of all these companies are there, and pro staff guys, with seminars are put on. So that's a highlight anyway. But it promotes sales there, and that's what it was actually designed to do, and promote these companies that are putting it on, and promote sales at Grizzly.
Hey, and talk about Grizzly Jigs, Les. Do you know what Larry Ray has on this morning? He has on a Grizzly Jig shirt.
I have on my Grizzly Jig shirt. You can be sure and tell Wade and Jack and all them guys that I've got my red Grizzly Jig shirt on, and I wanted to wear it especially for sore lips. Okay, all right.
There you go.
I wear it all the time, folks. You need to make the drive up to Grizzly Jig. You'll be up in about an hour from downtown Memphis. But this event is.
And Larry, one other thing.
What?
You need to make that hour drive down to Como, Mississippi, and visit Les and Lois Smith.
Oh, my wife, Miriam,
the best host and hostess.
You know what's going to happen when I do that? I'm going to do all the eating, and Miriam's going to do all the catching.
She's a good fisherman.
Oh, you think that, Ron? Okay.
I know so.
Yeah, and I was just talking to my good friend Tommy Aiken the other day. My good friend Tommy was fishing with David, I think, and he was telling me, I know who's the best fisherman in your family. Everybody knows that. So when I come down there, just get the chair ready for the queen, okay? All right, Les?
His boat will be on target.
All right, Les. Thank you, Les Smith, buddy. Y'all have a great weekend, and we'll work something out, okay, man? All right?
Larry, Ron, thanks, and look forward to seeing you.
All right, buddy. Say hello to everybody down there. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, Les Smith. All right, folks. I know that what a great place. I've heard so much.
And by the way,
what?
You'll see pictures of this place.
Yeah.
I'm going to take some. I've already taken some.
You going to do
Hopefully they'll be up by about Monday or Tuesday on
LarryRay.com.
LarryRay.com.
All right. My man LarryRay.com will be on there. Guy Trebo, I had lunch with Guy the other day.
Me too. I had dinner.
Did you really?
Yeah.
He told me you did.
Yeah.
He told me you did.
Yeah.
I was so glad, and he's back from Arizona after 5 weeks in Arizona.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And he's back home here and everything. But I wanted to thank Ron for hooking up that interview with Les, a gentleman I've heard.
A true godly gentleman.
Yes, I've heard that. And you just Google the crappie compound, and it's becoming more famous than certain steakhouse down there in Como, I think.
Absolutely,
people are knowing about it and everything. But we're gonna take a break here in just a minute. But go to LarryRay.com for all those pictures that Ron's talking about. If you'd like to be a sponsor on LarryRay.com or Outdoors of Larry Ray, shoot me an email at lroutdoors@att.net. We'd be glad to talk to you. We'll send Ron out there to wheedle on you to make sure you get in here, but Ron's on twice a month. But and be sure to stick around. We're going to this last segment of today. I said one time this is the last segment of the show, and everybody thought I was quitting. No, this is the last segment, and we're going to go to God's country, Ron.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to Gastons, White River Resort, where I've been going for more than 30 years up there when Jim Gaston was alive, and a great thing. But they have had some wicked weather in northwest Arkansas. Who hasn't? I mean, we've been dodging the bullet here, Ron. I mean, we've been dodging the bullet.
Yeah.
But the folks down south, Jackson, Mississippi, down south, all those folks in Texas and wherever it might be. But we're going to take this break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Come right back, close this baby out with Jake Hansen at Gaston's White River Resort on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we wrap up this week's show. As I told somebody one time, I said as we wrap up the show and everybody thought we were quitting. No, we're going to make it to 24 years if everything goes right. This is second Saturday, which means we have Ron Wong in the studio as a co-host. And
hey, good morning, everybody.
What do we call this show, Ron?
The fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio.
And it seems like we are breezed, and we've come to the final segment on today's show on this June the 8th, and hope everybody's having a great weekend. And I don't want to say I saved the best for last, but one of my favorite, if not the favorite, place where I go and have gone for over 30 years. I go way back to when me and Jim Gastons were buds and just hit it off. And I know we got a lot of Memphis area folks who go to Gaston's White River Resort up in northwest Arkansas. And recently a lot of bad weather blew through northwest Arkansas, which is, of course, where I went to school up in that area. Even my nephew and Rogers lost some trees and everything. And our good folks at Gaston's experienced some of that too. And we've had requests from listeners saying, well, what's going on at Gaston's? Well, what better way to find out than talk to the folks themselves? And so we're glad to have Jake Hansen on the line with us from Gaston's. Good morning, Jake.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
We're doing great, man. Let's fill us in on what it was like on that late May day when the storms blew through, and tell us what happened with those storms and how you guys are doing. But first, tell us what happened in the day of the storms.
Well, obviously the storms come through here about 4 o'clock in the morning, and we all heard the sirens go off and whatnot. And I was at home. I let that all pass us, and I tried to drive into work, and we couldn't get. The closest I could get was about 4 miles to the resort, and had to wait for people to get the roads cleared up with chainsaws.
Oh, my goodness.
But
wow.
Yeah.
Once we got in, it wasn't much better down there.
Yeah.
I don't know if we experienced a tornado down there, but we definitely had some pretty strong what they call straight line winds
yes,
down there.
Yeah.
We lost quite a bit of trees. I had one big hackleberry tree. I mean, this thing's probably, I'm going to say 7 foot in diameter. It's huge. And it fell and took out one of my bigger units that has 12 bedrooms in it.
Oh, it took out one of the big units, huh?
Wow.
Yeah. So we're hoping to get that one back in action for next season. It's going to be out this year for the rest of the year.
And so, did any trees on the runway or anything like that? Did you have any? The runway's okay?
Yeah, nothing happened to the runway. We had a couple fall down, but not in the runway. They kind of went parallel with it, so nothing that obstructed anything.
What about the dock? Dock was okay? I mean...
dock had, other than just leaves in the boat, the dock was fine.
And the restaurant, which we all know and love, it's okay. Yep. It was okay, too?
Yep.
So
that's all good. All we had was some... I mean, we all know about Bradford pears and how they don't like.
Oh, yeah, we got those here. Yeah,
we have a slew of those guys that now we don't have. So that's where we're at there.
Yeah, well, I know
we're finally starting to catch our breaths on cleanup right now, but I don't know. This may take a little bit longer to get everything picked up, but for the most part, it looks like it's behind us.
And you lost power, I'm assuming, for a while.
For about 3 days, we were out without power.
How did you handle that with the restaurant and everything? How did that go?
Well, the restaurant was closed. We had the kitchen staff brought some grills over, and for the people that stayed at the resort, they cooked them what they could. Obviously,
what a memory!
It's kind of like hamburgers, hot dogs, and what we had to grill, but. We didn't charge anybody for any of it. We just tried to keep people fed and happy.
And you had guests, I'm assuming, and you got, I don't know how many, 72 facilities, whatever it is, all down the river. And
78 of them, and we were a full house when that went down.
You were a full house. Okay, and the sirens were going, and the folks handled it well. And what a memory you made for those folks, I'm sure. So
for some of them, they won't ever forget it.
They won't ever forget it. And you lost phone connections for a while, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. Phone, internet, power. Yeah, we were kind of like we were back in the day, I guess.
Back in the day. So bring us up to date on how things are going now. I mean, where are you now? Are you back facility-wise? Are you open? The restaurant, I think you said.
We're minus those 12 bedrooms. We're back in action now.
That's wonderful.
So we're up fully ready to go.
We
got guides going out every day, restaurant serving food every day, and kind of normal days now.
Well, I can imagine what it was like. No, I can't. I don't like storms, and that was a pretty deadly storm that came through all of northwest Arkansas, particularly Bentonville, up in there in that area, and came. I guess it's the same storm system that came through you guys, and you're kind of protected on the bluff sides, I know. But you're also open air right there with your the other stuff. But it's looking good now, and the restaurant is back open, I'm assuming, in regular hours and everything. So,
yes, sir. Like I said, we're back to normal operations now.
All right. So
that's great.
So tell our listeners how's fishing going up there, Jake, because we want to try to hook up with you guys at least once a month to get a little fishing report like we used to do in the old days. What's going on fishing-wise?
Well, right now you got to bring your whole tackle box. The dam is being very sporadic on their water release. So there'll be some mornings you wake up, you got a bunch of water flowing, and there's some mornings it's minimum flow. So the methods of fishing varies from day to day, but still the same old. If you want to catch browns are predator fish. They like to eat other fish.
So,
fishing with frozen shad and stuff like that will get you some browns.
And your guides are all out in full force, I guess.
Absolutely. I keep 11 guides on the dock, and we're keeping them busy.
11 guides. Well, tell our listeners, Jake, a little bit about you. Are you from that area, and how long have you been at Gastons here?
Well, I started at Gastons back in right before COVID hit.
That's what I thought.
Of 20. So
okay, yeah.
Clint brought me on, and then 3 months into it, I thought I was going to get fired.
And you survived, man.
Yeah, we survived. It was 2 months of kind of uncertainty, and then once once the governor released our out-of-state travel bans, let people come back in. But our faucet turned wide open and the handle broke. It was a busy couple of years there.
Well,
we're still busy, but not quite like that.
Well, I know you guys are, like I say, I got so many memories from over there, particularly my 30-inch, 12-pound brown that I caught. And, of course, Ron Wong was one of those folks that wheeled in. How big was that brown, Ron, that you brought
17 pounds.
17 pounds.
You got me beat.
Yeah.
On the 7th, was that the same day, Ron? It seemed like it was about the same day.
I think it was the next year that you got your big one.
Yeah, I got my big one.
Next
of course,
one.
If you go to my website, LarryRay.com, you go to my Facebook page, Jake, you're going to see me with that fish, and it's made famous. I don't know if it made the Wall of Fame down there. I know that a photo I took back in the 90s won Outdoor Ride of America Picture of the Year of me on the White River. You could turn that photo upside down and it looked the same because of the reflection. And I said that's the only time I could outdo Jim Gaston when it came to pictures. I mean,
I got to tell you, Larry.
He actually said it was a good one, and when he said that, he meant it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what? Gastons Resort is a true resort on the river, so peaceful.
Yeah.
A great place to hike.
Yeah.
And there is a museum there right at the dam there.
Oh, yeah. Up at the dam. Yeah.
That people
it's named after Jim Gaston.
That's right.
Yep.
And, of course, the world-famous Gaston restaurant there that is, you're sitting over the river watching it as you eat, and great food by a 5-star chef, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, book it there. So, Jake, how do they get in touch with you guys and get information about coming to Gastons?
Well, you're more than welcome to book. You have to call us. You have to pick up the phone and call me at 870-431-5202.
That's it.
But you're more than welcome to get on our website at gastons.com and check out our what amenities we do offer. But to do the booking, we're old school. We keep it on the phone.
Hey, that's the way Jim.
We like to say, no one trip is the same. So
that's right. You making memories is what I said when it came down to it. But anyway, Jake, thank you, man, for being with us. Tell Clint and all the good folks up there that I'm still kicking, just not very high. Okay, man? All right?
And we'll see you down the road, buddy.
Yeah, we'll talk to you in July for sure, and I'm hoping to get up there and see you guys. All right, Jake? All right?
That sounds great.
Thanks,
Pleasure
buddy.
being here.
Have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, Jake Hansen from Gaston. Let me tell you about next week's show. Frank Barton and John Gordon will be in studio, so they'll be dueling on segment leadways as they battle over how best to introduce me. Okay, that's what they always do. But I know we're going to talk to Jared Henson of Ducks Unlimited. He's doing a study on the black-bellied whistling ducks. Been doing it for years. And we'll also talk about the new Sultana Disaster Museum going up in Marion, because they have a new executive director, and we're hoping to get him on the show next week to talk about that.
All
of course,
right.
we'll talk fishing and all sorts of other things. And Ron, I know you're heading on down to Como, and tell everybody. Tell everybody hello down there, and we'll be getting back with Ron in a couple of weeks, and
then remember to go to LarryRay.com for pictures.
And I spelled it the correct way, folks. It's REA. You know, I played golf the other day with David Ray. He's from Newport, Arkansas. Had his Razorback thing on his hat. And I said, David, man, I like to see that Razorback thing. I said, the only trouble is you spell your name wrong. It's not R-A-Y. It's R-E-A. That's the correct way to spell it. Then I told him the story about an uncle I had, my Uncle Clovis, my dad's brother, who got so tired of everybody calling him Clovis Rhea that he legally changed his name to R-A-Y. Of course, I don't think he got invited to any more family reunions after that. So he went to his grave as R-A-Y. But so what you got going on, Ron? Anything else before we let you go?
Well, no, it's just going to be a nice, peaceful weekend. And
yeah.
Hope to get some fishing in next week. If the weather will let us go, because one time this past week went out And about 4 o'clock, the wind kind of picked up. It got a little dark.
Yes.
And I heard some of that thundering, and I said, uh-oh, time to go.
Get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
And I do. Today is free fishing day.
Yes.
Get out there and do it. And for those of you that are in a boat, please wear your life jacket.
Please wear it. Wise Ron Wong. And we always say, Ron, it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. What else, Ron?
God bless the USA.